Alrighty, hello. My name is Liam. If you've played with me on PokerStars, I go by the username of vibe.pokercoaching. Behold, my second play and explain. Welcome to all my new subscribers. I know a lot of you came over from Jared's channel, so I know you guys probably aren't used to this, but I plan on posting videos a little bit more often than once or twice a year. So if you haven't already and you're interested in this kind of play and explain stuff, be sure to subscribe. Just playing 2 tables of 100 Zoom today. Hopefully we'll get some interesting spots. I plan on posting some 200 NL action in the near future, so you guys can look out for that. 3-betting ace-8 here on table 2. And I'm just finishing up my chocolate banana peanut butter protein shake. If anyone is interested in getting coaching, in our first lesson, I'll provide you the recipe for that. It's absolute brain power. Don't think I'd be where I am without it. So bored, I think we can just get away with betting small with our entire range here. King is just so good for our range. Opening every suited ace from every position ever. So we get a call in the small blind. Just gonna start with a small bet. I'm kind of torn because this guy doesn't look like he has very wide stats, so I think maybe checking back my hand makes more sense. In general, versus weaker players, a small bet is going to perform very well because the ranges are just always too wide in like every single spot. But here, when someone calls the small blind with stats like that, I mean, I don't have a lot of hands on him, but it's just very this board. It's just got a lot of like 6s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 7s, 8s. Like all those hands that are that don't want to 3-bet, but that, don't really want to fold either in a recreational player's mind. This is a little too loose to open on a 48. So a huge blunder on table 1. So yeah, like I think maybe checking back my hand makes more sense if that's what the guy's range looks like. However, if he's the type of weaker player who's going to be calling there with like 10-2 of spades, then I like a small bet because he just has lots of air that's going to fold out. And here with the big blind, I'm going to be doing a lot of checking on this board in general. It's kind of the same thing that just applied in the last spot we played, where the guy's range is either condensed to this in the sets and pairs region, or is way too wide. So if I know this guy's range is like extremely wide, which I guess he has 32. But there's also the big blind, so I can't just go crazy. And pure 3-bet on table 2. So I have a blocker to the nuts, but I don't want to start going crazy with my hand, really. I don't want to ask a weaker player to hero fold the king high flush. If you guys watched the last video, weaker players can't fold their nut flushes, so Starting with a small bet on table 2. I think we can. This is a board we can just get away with betting 1/4 with our range on. We have a big Jack X advantage, and obviously our overpair advantage as well. So he picks up pocket 9s on the turn. I don't think we care with kings. I think we're just going for 3 streets. Bet, bet, bet. Sometimes losing to jacks, sometimes losing to 8s, sometimes losing to 9s. But we're stacking lots of Jack X. And 10s is now in a rough spot, and we just have a call here versus the jam. And we'll chop it up. I didn't see what happened in that other hand. Okay. What do I think of his ace-queen jam? I don't think he wants to play any jams on the turn. We're gonna fold on table 2. I don't think it makes sense. What hands does he have that want to jam? I mean, I guess he wants to jam ace-queen off in this spot. But I mean, in a theory sense, what hands does he have? I'm just gonna bet small on table 1 versus a weaker player. Yeah, I think he's just calling there. I don't 4-bet queen 10 suited. I guess if he were to build a raising range, ace queen with the ace of spades makes sense. He's blocking queens, aces, and our like ace king of spades or something that's gonna call off. It's just hard to think of any value hands that want to jam. Jacks doesn't want to jam, 9s doesn't want to jam. They just want to call and keep all our bluffs in. I'm just gonna bet small on table 2. Got a small blind call here. Bad turn. Still has some king X that we're ahead of. He has some jack X we're ahead of. We got reversed on some 2 pairs, like queen 10 and queen jack. I don't think my hand has any reason to want to bet again. And just hoping to check down versus like king 8 of spades. Queen 7. I wonder if my hand is just strong enough to jam there on table 2. Probably is. I don't see any reason to start. When he checks this flop, he's got some ace highs, he's got some medium pairs, and he's got some traps. I think I just want to check down with my hand versus his ace highs. And realize my equity versus a hand like pocket 8s or 9s that I don't think is going to fold to a bet. And now on the turn, I think his reopening range is pretty value heavy. I think his traps are going to reopen. He might pick up some yeah, I just think that's pretty value heavy. Maybe like mergey value heavy too. Maybe he starts betting a hand like jacks or something. Regardless, feel comfortable folding the ace queen. We'll check here on table 2 versus the limp. Expect the limping range to consist of a lot of ace high, a lot of medium pairs. I'm just gonna start bluffing my hand on table 2. I don't think he's checking back a queen very often. I don't think he's really limping a queen very often. So I'm just gonna go bet bet. I forget if this is too wide. It goes to 2.2. We'll call it for the video. And now check fold. We'll call versus the weaker player on table 2. I don't see any reason to raise. Or do I? No, I'm gonna play it as a call. We need some protection from some overcards, and calling King Jack suited here. Not a great river. You can check back some Ace Queen or King Queen. I don't think my hand is strong enough to block. Maybe versus a fish it is. We'll go for the block. I could probably bet smaller than that, maybe like 10%. And easy call here on table 1. Yeah, I don't like my river decision there. Check shoving is interesting. And just another easy call. So I'm pretty sure we have a pure call here on the river in theory. We're blocking Queen Jack. Problem is, so he has to be bluffing Ace Queen, Ace Jack. Some like Ace High, Ace 5, random shit. This is just Ace King and Aces a lot. On a 66, I'll call. And he has 10s. Bet small on table 2. This is probably a spot where people are not finding enough bluffs. So maybe just exploit folding the river there is the right call. Like he's got to be following through with some Ace 5 suited, Ace 4 suited, Ace Queens, and Ace Jack, which people might just want to check back or just check on the turn. I have a really nice bluff catcher though. Okay, so we 3-bet under the gun as middle position, and we get Ace 10-9, so he has an advantage in 10s and 9s. Gonna need to be doing a lot of checking on this board. On a 75, I'm going to bet my Ace Queen. He still has some worse Ace X. He has some Ace Jack. He turns Ace 5 now. I think on a 35 I'm going to check back Ace Queen. It already seems like it's getting a little bit thin. I think I'm going to go for the thin raise fold to a jam. I want to bet a size that Ace Jack can call, Jack 8 suited. What does it call? I don't remember. I don't really know what he's saying he has when he bets that size on the river. Saying he has like queens or something? Jacks? Just a weird bluff. I think when check 2 on the turn here, my hand is going to start bluffing a lot. This is a spot I need to look at though, in these mono checking lines, how to react as the in-position player. I imagine we're doing a lot of one-thirding. We probably have to do some checking as well though. Like a good amount of checking. So you can definitely call some, check call some 10x. I like including these straight draws at some frequency so we have some bluffs when the river comes a club. I think a 10 is going to be the bottom of our value betting range on table 2. Now I think we're just hoping to check and win versus like the ace x of clubs or king x of club or something, king jack. I'm really not sure about that spot though, so I'm going to review that one. On a 9, I'm going to fold queen 10 suited actually versus under the gun. I don't think it's a pure 3-bet. We'll open another table. Size down a little bit versus the short stack. A small blind call here on table 1, and I'm just betting my entire range for super small on this board. Now I think just playing my hand. He picks up some worse ace x, he still has some king x. Someone commented in the last video asking if I'm gonna limp the queen 10 here. Maybe this is a little too ambitious. Someone was asking me in the last video if Jarrett edits my is kind of editing my video production and audio production and stuff. Yeah, he is. That's why it's very similar to his videos. Obviously super high quality editing going on. I guess now just hoping to check down versus some random king high give ups, some lower pocket pairs, maybe some worse 10x. I think my hand is on the cusp of being able to bet one big blind. On a 97, we'll throw the 7s in to our 3-bet, and gonna ISO here on table 1. and folding to the 3-bet. So our hand benefits a lot from protection. I'm using a 50% sizing on this board, and I think with the heart, I'm gonna, even on a 30, throw my 7s in. We just benefit a lot from getting him to fold out some broadways. I think my hand is definitely checking, in theory, a good amount though, because he still has 10s and jacks, 8s. And just on this board, he has 9s more than we do. He has more 5x. So someone in the last video was asking me about, I'm just calling here on table 1, kind of my approach to the whole GTO versus exploitative debate, I guess, or conversation. And I think it depends a lot on the games you're playing. I think first and foremost, having a solid understanding of some GTO principles is like a necessary starting point. Without a heart, I think my hand is mixing. I think on a 71, this is pretty close. I'm just gonna fold the 7s. I'm gonna start with it. No, I'm just gonna bet versus a weaker player. I could probably even bet a little bit bigger. He has some worse pocket pairs that are gonna call. He has some diamonds, and he now picks up some backdoor draws. I'm just gonna go normal and then normal the river again. With 50, I'm gonna fold 9-10 to the min raise. So I guess 10s gets there. 9-10 is a hand that he could be calling with. So I'm gonna just, or do I want to check and let him bet all his flush draws? No, I think I'm going to bet again and fold to a raise. Hopefully just getting heroed by some worse pocket pairs or some 10x that he picks up. He has some 10x of flush draws as well, but I think I have a pretty easy fold to a raise. Back to what I was saying about the whole GTO versus exploitative stuff. A theoretical foundation is going to be necessary for making any exploitative deviations. Because if you don't know what you're deviating from, then you're just guessing, and that's not a good strategy. I'm just going to bet big on table 2, and hopefully he has an ace. Now that being said, the types of exploits that you can make are going to differ drastically depending on the opponents. So if you're playing versus a weaker player with a super wide range, on like, he's just playing way too many hands, then, you know, a good exploit might just be betting small with your entire range on every single flop, and he's just going to be way over folding. Now, you know, that makes sense versus kind of a stereotypical fish or weaker player, but exploits start to look differently when you're, say, exploiting a 100 NL reg, or exploiting like a 200 NL reg, or 500 NL regs, making exploits on other 500 NL regs. And the difference is that it always comes back to where the opponent is deviating from equilibrium, which you have to have an understanding of. Like, you have to know what equilibrium is supposed to look like, and then you have to assume how they're deviating, and then you have to find the proper counter exploit to that deviation. 8s on a 24 versus MP is going to be a fold, and just calling here on table 2. I think my hand might be a 3-bet or a check raise at some frequency in theory here, or even a call. I think the big blind is under 3-bet though, and for that reason, I'm just gonna fold these hands that I think are, like, my hand might be mixing all 3. I'm gonna bet small on table 1. I'm just gonna fold. I don't think he has enough air type hands in his range that he should, that might push this hand over the line to having enough equity to call. Just calling on table 1. He has some flush draws, he has some backdoors, he has some 6-7, he has some 5x, he should have some 8x, he has some ace-8, he has some ace-5, he has some 5s and 8s. Overall, our hand is doing very well. And on a 3 versus this big size, I'm just going to fold. He goes for the overbet, which makes sense given everything that we're saying. The bottom of his value betting range now is probably... Oh, he has some 3-4 as well that he picks up on the turn that I missed on the flop. I can't fold my hand yet. It's a pretty bad river. I guess I'm just hoping to check versus like ace-5. Yeah, I don't think I'm beating any value that goes for this line. I think his bluffs would have to be some backdoor, or not backdoor, sorry. Yeah, but some backdoor king X of diamonds that check raise the flop, which I think are maybe a little tough to find. I think it's easy to be too value heavy when he jams the river there. I was talking about GTO and exploit stuff. Just gonna bet my range for small on table 1. Yeah, it's like an exploit versus a fish at 100 NL might be betting your entire range for small on every board. Whereas an exploit versus a reg might be, I've studied this spot in PO, and I think that it's tough for people to be finding enough bluffs in this line, and so I'm going to slightly overfold the river here. But it still always stems from what equilibrium is supposed to look like. I'm going to fold. I don't know if I have to continue that on a 52 with a gut shot to the nuts. And here I snap checked. I'm just going to check back. But yeah, it always stems from where you think that the opponent is deviating from equilibrium and then what the counter exploit to that is. Now, where it gets super interesting is at super, super high level poker play, where everyone is basically proficient at implementing near perfect GTO in every spot. That's where you get like really interesting stuff where someone will purposely deviate from GTO in order to bring the opponent into a spot that neither of them have studied, in the hopes that they'll be able to outmaneuver them in the non-spot that they're in. And I think that's pretty sick. Yeah, this is ace-8 hand. What's the other hand? Queen-jack. Yeah, I don't know if I get to just call my queen jack of clubs or if I still have to continue. I think I still have to continue this hand with some frequency. I don't know if on a 53 I do. And I'm gonna bet small on table 1. Good card for me. I'm just gonna bet with my king queen. And just going for 3 streets. Three betting on table 1. Really good board for us. He shouldn't have 6s that often. He'll have it more than us because we're 3-betting 6s at a really low frequency. But he should be opening it at a really low frequency. He has more 2s than us, but it's the same thing where he shouldn't have many combos of it at all. And then we just have a huge KX advantage. So I think my hand wants to bet again at a pretty high frequency, and I think I'm tripling off. 3-betting on table 2. So he has some worse pairs like jacks. He picks up 8s, but even 8s is probably pretty close to pure folding the flop. He's just in a world of pain on the turn there. Definitely have to do some checking on this board. On a 91, I'm going to bet my ace-king. If you have the ace-king containing a club, it's going to be betting way more frequently. The reason we have to be doing a lot of checking on this board is he's going to have 10s, 8s, and 6s way more than we do. 10s is almost a pure call versus under the gun. Really, our only advantage is in our kings and aces, because he's calling overpairs up to queens there. So definitely playing a lot of checks on that board. On a 13, I'm going to call ace-10 suited. Say it's an above average flop for our hand. I expect this big bet to just be a lot of ace-x. I'm just going to call. There's some flush draws as well. He might have picked up some backdoors. But I expect his range when he bets that size on the flop to just be like an ace or a flush draw. And I think a normal bet versus that range performs pretty well. So now his backdoors are folding regardless. I'm just trying to pick a size that his aces will call. And I guess that's like a normal bet. Not a fun spot versus a jam. So I guess like ace queen or yeah, ace queen. Actually, it's a pretty fun spot versus a jam. Never mind. He shouldn't really call with kings. And I think players would mostly be trapping aces there on the flop, or betting a smaller size than that. Yeah, do any of you know how to do that? On a 61, I'm 3-betting 9s, 3-betting way more than I'm calling. Folding with no spade. So I recently learned this trick with the chips. But I saw this one guy do this one at the casino where the middle one, oh god, this is, one sec. The middle one like fell through or something. It was like the reverse of what I learned. I've been struggling to learn that one, and I can't find any tutorials, so if you guys know any cool chip tricks, send a video of it and how you do it, and let me know. Three-betting ace queen of diamonds on table 1. So he should be responding mostly as a 4-bet. Just being out of position, you don't want to play a 3-bet pot out of position, so you just choose to 3-bet a lot. And we just have an easy call with ace queen. It's a good flop for us, so he has a lot of under pairs to the ace now. He has an advantage in the ace-x and the ace-king. And yeah, I really like this sizing from him. So he wants to bet a size that his like kings and queens and jacks can still get value with, which is a size like this. Now versus this size, we're responding by doing a lot of calling or a lot of min raising. And I think my hand goes into the min raise category on a 60. Neither of us should really have any 9x aside from pocket 9s. So I'm assuming he's betting his range for 1/10, and that's including some worse ace-x than mine. And I think that my hand now just wants to mix between checking and betting a third, and I think on a 50 it's going to be betting. He still has some ace-jack, some ace-10, some ace-5. But that bet is going to get him to fold out some kings and queens, jacks. Which is fine, because we're not really getting value from them on the river. So we don't mind just denying the small amount of equity for them to have a chance to hit their set on the river. I think that's how that spot works. On a 68, I'm not sure if I should be 3-betting or calling there. I guess it's squeezing, cold squeezing. I don't know what that would be called. So spot in theory, if we were under the gun versus button, I would be doing a lot of small bets. I think I still kind of like it here. My hand definitely benefits from some protection. I don't know if it's too thin though. I don't know if my hand can actually do this when there's another player in the pot. And on a 75, I'll bet my 8s here. Definitely need some checkbacks in theory. However, this is like another example of kind of an exploit where you can make it 100 zoom, where if this guy is not check raising the flop a lot, and he's overfolding to a flop c-bet, then you can just get away with betting wider. It means you have to follow the turn up with a lot of checks, but that's fine because you just generated a bunch of EV getting him to overfold the flop, and you realize your equity more than you should getting to the turn. Yeah, so he has some 6x that wants to overbet. I think my hand is just a fold here. Just got my black boxes, so Went from having to grind 37,000 points to 100,000 points. So that's super fun. Alright, I'm gonna go for another 5 minutes. I think 45 minutes is a decent length for these videos. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. If 45 is too long or too short. I think the next video I'm gonna post is gonna be some 200 NL normal tables, I think. We'll see if I might be playing 3 normal tables, just so there's still enough action. Or if the Zoom table is looking really good, then I'll hop in there. So the middle position call versus under the gun is going to be a lot tighter. I'm going to start off with a check with my hand. I still expect him to kind of have the... now, especially when he checks back the turn, I expect him to have a lot of like 8s, 9s, 10s. I've seen people cold call like ace-queen or ace-king here. I'm just going to go with a small bet. I think that's going to put all those hands I just described in not a fun spot. 8 is a bad river, obviously. That was one of the hands that I expected him to have. I think I just want to go for another small bet again. We might have some worse Jack X, like Jack 10. We might get heroed by like ace queen or something. Sells 9s and 10s. And we did get heroed by ace queen. All right, paw 1101. Show us what you got. He's got a 7 big blind 3-bet. I guess we have to call. Well, paw 1101 put us in the blender there. There's no denying it. Ace 3 is going to be 3-betting versus middle position. Same thing, same concept as that other spot we played with the ace queen, where we need to be doing some checking on this board. He has more 8s and 7s than we do. On table 2, I'm pure 4-betting my hand and getting it in versus the jam. We're not super happy, but he should have ace king a lot, so I'm gonna check back. I want to protect my checking range with some worse ace-x. Now that doesn't mean I'm always checking them back. I'm still betting them sometimes. We want to have some coverage when we bet and there's a 3. So he picks up some 5s. He picks up a set of 5s. My hand is still too strong to consider folding, although I'm not super happy. It's not a great river either. So he has all the sets. He has a lot of stronger aces than me. What bluffs does he have? Some random broadways. Oh, the size is just super weird. I think he's sizing up with his sets and stuff. I'm just gonna fold. I think that spot's pretty close. Definitely not beating any value. It's just a question of how aggro is he playing with all of his air after I check back the flop. So when I check back the flop, it looks like I have a hand like kings or queens. And I did say I was putting these hands in to protect my checking range. So I didn't really do a good job of protecting my range if I folded the river there. But I think this is a pretty bad run out. Actually, it's not, though. Because I don't think nines is going to start betting the turn. Also, I think he should be playing overbet on the turn. All his value hands want to bet big. Like, the only hand that wants to bet the size that he bet on the turn and river is like ace jack, ace queen, ace 10. Going to be 4-betting my hand on a 68. It's going to be 4-bet or folding. I think it's about half and half. Alright, I'm going to sit out next big blind. Hopefully we'll get a spot here. I'll take a fold too. Yeah, now that I think about it, the half pot on the turn, half pot river, I think that should have just been a call. My hand is going to call or 4-bet. It's going to be doing a lot of 4-betting. I think this is a board that we can lead on. I don't know if we're leading our entire range, and on a 15 I'm going to check. But this is a really, really good board for us. We just have 9s, 8s, and 6s as like a huge part of our range. When we call here, we just have a lot of like medium pairs and broadways and some suited ace-x. So this is an interesting turn card. I think I'm going to check again on a 15. I expect to be checking back the flop with a lot of ace-x as well. Now it's a double-edged sword because that includes some ace-king, ace-queen, but it also includes some worse ace-x that we're ahead of. I'm considering all options. I don't mind my hand as a check. I don't mind it as a big bet. I don't mind it as a small bet. What is he checking? And what is he check bluffing on the river? I'm gonna put my hand into the small bet. Actually, I don't know. I'll check that spot. I see merits for all options. Like, we're blocking an ace and jack, which make for some obvious calls on the river. So that makes me want to check and have him bluff, but then I'm like, well, what is he bluffing? What goes check bluff in his shoes? And then I want to bet really big because he might have checked back the turn with some weak ace-x. Or like even ace-queen at some frequency. And then I want to bet small because maybe he has a hand like I don't know. I don't like betting small anymore. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video there. Yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments. There were some interesting spots today. And I will catch you all next time. I think my next video is going to be 200 NL, so yeah, watch out for that. Alright, take it easy guys. Peace out.